The purpose of this session is to discuss the feature functionality in version 4 for component entry. I'd first like to start with a few points around navigation. Specifically, in version 4, throughout all the screens, we've added the ribbon bar capability. This is consistent in Microsoft Office as well as through Microsoft Dynamics. It gives developers a chance to put buttons or links or activities right in front of the user without having to bury them in menus. These ribbon bar will change from screen to screen, and you may even find that that items appear depending on where you are within a screen. So basically, it's a place for us to be able to put activities or links. Specifically, beyond the ribbon bar, we've also got what is referred to as quick access toolbar. These are in effect shortcuts to things that you perform often, like save or create a new document or add from ERP, etc. So giving you the ability to minimize the ribbon bar if you'd like, but you could still have access to these buttons. This drop down will actually access the customization capability of that, so I can turn a link on and off by doing that. Like I just turned off the print button and I turn it back on, and you see it's now available. Additionally, I can take those bars or that toolbar and move it either above, where it is now, above the ribbon bar, or below the ribbon bar by clicking here on the show below the ribbon bar, so you can see that it moves around the ribbon bar accordingly. And then finally, I can actually minimize the ribbon itself. That gives me more real estate, moving everything up on your screen. So if you don't need to see the large ribbon bar, you can actually hide it from your view. All of that is saved every time I save the screen. Every time I leave the screen, these settings are saved, and so it will be wherever I left them when I close the screen. Additionally, throughout the system, you're going to find what we refer to as collapsible sections. These were similar to tabs in version 2. So instead of having tabs going from left to right, we've got collapsible sections going from top to bottom. Why this is helpful is it allows the user to have multiple sections open simultaneously, so that I can see different pieces of data in front of me rather than having to click between tabs. Additionally, it provides a nice pathway for us as developers to take us to a browser-based client if and when that becomes needed in the process manufacturing industry. So we've added the collapsible sections. You're going to find that throughout every screen within Vicinity. Another big piece to Vicinity is how we're handling lookups. Specifically, any lookup that we've got, of course, we've got the regular lookup, but one of the things we've added is the ability to be able to look within a field. So, for example, if I wanted to see all items that have got, say, bottles in the description, I can type bottles in the find by description, hit tab, and it brings back any item that meets that criteria. I'll go and look at lid as an example. And so in this case, we're finding everything that has lid in its description. From here, I can go ahead and just double click on it, and brings up that item. Now you're going to find this is also used within the screen, so not just the lookup, say, on component ID, but also, say, on the subcomponent tab, where I can define my my packaging, my bill of material. I get the same thing here. So I can do a lookup, I could type in the part number, I could do all those things you're used to in version 2, but I could also just type lid, hit the tab key, and it'll bring up a short list of all items that have got lid in its description. In this case, I can go and double click and bring up that item and bring it into, in this case, the subcomponent tab. You're going to see that all through the system. Really, any place there's a lookup, you're going to have that capability to be able to do a partial find or a partial lookup. One of the pieces that was requested during Focus, which is our annual user conference in May, was the ability to be able to look into Microsoft Dynamics and show me all items that haven't been brought in from Dynamics already. The idea being that if you create an item in Dynamics, I would just like to be able to do a lookup and just see those items that haven't been brought in yet. That's what this new from MRP is about. If I click on the new from MRP, what it's showing me is a list of all items that are in Microsoft Dynamics that are not in Vicinity. In my demo database, I've got a number of items based on the demo data over in Dynamics Inventory. But for most companies, there would only be 1, 2, 3, 4 items out there, the ones that have not been extended into Vicinity. We've also changed the way in which you can copy a component. Previously, the way you would copy a component from one component to the next would be to call up the old component and then change the component ID and hit save. That worked especially around formulas, but it had some drawbacks associated with items that were already in Dynamics, or maybe you didn't want to copy over the bill of materials, etc. So we changed our metaphor slightly, and that is we can start by typing in a new part number. Actually, let me go pick up a new part number. I go to new 2. And what I'm going to do is create this new item called Randy New 2, and I'll hit the copy button. Now what this is allowing me to do is to say, define what is the source of this new item. In this case, I'll say my new item is a lot like DCFGO2, which is paint in a quart can. And what the system's going to do is allow me to selectively pick which pieces of data I want to bring over from DCFGO2 into my new item, Randy New 2. So in this case, I'll go ahead and keep my alternate units of measure. I'll keep my subcomponents, but I'm going to go ahead and not bring over my quality or my attributes or my properties. In other words, there may be unique specifications to Randy New that are different from my source, and so I just don't want to bring over that quality data and attributes and properties, etc. So all I need to do is select which ones I want to copy and just hit the copy button, and now I've created this item called Randy New 2. You'll see that the subcomponents has been populated, formula, fill units, bills of material, etc. However, my quality is blank, so it just didn't bring over that data. We've also added in version 4 a new status. We've always had production, user class, and user. We've added the ability to deal with an approval process. And what I mean by this is we've got a status saying requires approval. As we move forward in version 4, we will flesh this out more and more via our advanced security, allowing you to create an item but not be inactive until it has been approved. So this requires approval as a new status that didn't exist in version 2. That brings us to kind of a close cousin to that, and that has to do with workflow. Workflow, Vicinity is supporting in Vicinity 4. And what workflow does is allow you to define certain steps that need to be performed when an action happens. For example, in setting up a new raw material item, you may need quality and compliance to look over the data prior to that item being used in a formula. So what workflow allows you to do is define the steps that need to happen. We need quality to be notified and then quality to add their data and approve this ingredient. We need the same thing to happen in compliance, etc. Those steps can be set up in workflow to make that happen. There is an additional piece of software that is needed by Ulink. There's actually a demo up on our website on this. Feel free to go take a look at it. There is a server component that is required to make this happen, but we really think it would be a tremendous benefit, especially for those companies that have multiple facilities or multiple people involved in the approval process of a component or a formula, or for that matter, even just a customer. So take a look at workflow and see if that might be helpful to you. So that's basically the new items in component entry version 4. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think. And if you need any help, don't hesitate to give us a call. And again, we look forward to seeing you in Atlanta in May at Focus.